Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Stranger Things, Season 1, Episode 5, The Flea and the Acrobat. So, to be honest with you, this episode did not do it for me as much as the rest of them. I have said over and over again, like, the entirety of Season 1 together is some of the best television ever, at least in my opinion. I really enjoy it. This episode, on the other hand, is kind of one of those filler episodes. Like, they had 8 to work with, and they just kind of inserted it. There's some really good scenes in there, but for the most part, like, I just didn't, like, enjoy this one as much as I did some of the others. Now, as I also said, like, the show is meant to be binged. I mean, it's Netflix, they drop all 8 episodes in the exact same time, so it's kind of designed for that way, and, like, it picks up right where the last episode dropped off, where you see Hopper, like, cutting the fence. So we see Hopper, like, breaking into the whatever that building is. I still don't think at this point they've said exactly what it is. I've done some research on the side and looked it up, and so I kind of know what it is, but I don't think they've given it a name in the actual series. It's just this plant that is, for whatever reason, in the town. So I don't want to get too much into it until they actually start saying what it is. But I do think that's kind of interesting, that it's just this mysterious conundrum that's, oh, just whatever, it's over there. Also in the last episode, we saw Lonnie arrive at Joyce's house for whatever. And so we kind of see more of their relationship going on here, where he's basically like, okay, honey, you are crazy. Like, he's dead, the funeral's coming up, and it's just, it is what it is. And like the hole in the wall and stuff like that. And so we kind of see more of the relationship dynamic between Lonnie and Joyce, which I really liked. The Upside Down finally gets its name, where 11 has, like, we've already seen her where she flips the D&D board, and now at this point, like, the boys are calling it the Upside Down, the Veil of Shadows, the echo of our world, and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of interesting. Like I said, so Hopper broke in, and he's going through the tunnels and stuff, and he actually finds the freaky looking portal to the Upside Down, and it's kind of interesting where he actually finally finds it, and then he just gets attacked. Lonnie and Jonathan have kind of that obligated scene where Jonathan comes home and he sees his dad there, and he just freaks out, like, you're just terrible for being in this family, and he wants to kick him out. Which again, like, stuff like this, like, I thought it was interesting, but it just didn't grab me the same way that other episodes did. Will's funeral was kind of a good scene, where, especially where Dustin's like, wait till everybody sees he's still alive, and everybody's like, shut up. So stuff like that's kind of fun. I did like the scene where Hopper, like, finds that his house has been bugged. That was kind of an interesting scene. We finally start to see the Nancy and Jonathan relationship develop, which at this point it's kind of interesting to see them together, but later on that will bug me, which I won't get too spoilery, and I'll talk about it when I get to that point. The whole title of The Flea and the Acrobat, where the teacher's kind of talking about it, where, I mean, it's the string, and the acrobat can only move in 2, like, forwards and backwards, and that's it, whereas the flea can rotate. Like, I kind of liked that, the description he talks about, but overall, like, I just didn't feel like it was needed. And then when he talks about the whole, how to move from one place to another very quickly, and he takes the plate and he shoves the pen through it. This is something that we saw in Event Horizon, and then if you even go further back, this is something from, like, I just lost the title, damn it. The kids book. It's a kids book. I'll come back to it. They just made a movie of it, so I should have been more prepared. But this is something that we've seen over and over again, where it's been done. Like, and I don't know, as soon as I saw it, I started getting flashbacks to the book that I cannot believe I just spaced the name of, as well as Event Horizon. Like, we get it. You don't need to do it a third time. I did really like the True North scene where Dustin comes up with the compass thing, because it's kind of, I like how they really give each boy kind of their own shine scenes and episodes, where Mike is like the kid who's obsessed with 11. He's kind of the hero of the series. Lucas is the voice of reason. He's the one that's like, no, let's just go get an adult. Whereas in this point, Dustin really has his moment where it's the true north and the compass and stuff like that. So I really like that. I already talked about how Nancy and Jonathan started teaming up, and already she's trying to like kind of get rid of Steve, where like she's swinging the bat and she's like, "Oh no, I'm busy," and basically shoos him away. Hopper's ex, to be honest, I didn't need that scene at all, where he calls her and he's like, "I just wanted to hear her voice," and then he hears the baby cry in the background. It's like, oh, so she's already like remarried presumably, and like already has a new family going on. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been drinking," just to kind of get off the phone. So stuff like that, I get it, I get why it's in there, but I didn't need it. I really liked the scene where the four of them are walking on the train tracks, but I feel like that scene would have been a little bit better in the last episode, especially since the last episode was called The Body, and that whole scene was very, very reminiscent of Stand By Me, with them walking on the tracks. And then, like, especially at this point, we start getting the flashbacks of 11, where she's like in the tank and she starts having the memories of like seeing I think he was Russian, talking, and then something moving in the background. So we're starting to get a little bit more of her backstory, which I really liked. I did love the scene where Hopper goes to Joyce's house to talk, to just talk to her, and he assumes that her house has been bugged as well. And he walks in and he sees all the lights, and he's just like, "Oh shit," because he has to go through every single one and look for a bug. So stuff like that. I did really like that scene. Again, like this whole episode, you kind of could have taken it out, and I don't know if it was necessary. Going back to the train tracks, they realize that 11 has actually been changing the compass, because once again Dustin shines and he realizes, I love his whole scene where he's like, "The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west." Like, are you guys stupid? And it's just the way Dustin talks about him. It's, I mean, at this point he hasn't done a whole lot, so I really liked those scenes with him. And then where he's the one who realizes, hey, we're going in like a giant circle. So stuff like that, I really liked that. And then when 11 just fucking like throws Lucas and he like falls, like it's very almost like Carrie White from Carrie, like her telekinetic powers, like she does some serious damage. And it was kind of interesting to kind of watch her like kind of freak out a little bit. And she didn't do it to him specifically, she just did it to the whole situation of Mike and Lucas fighting. The deer scene was a little messed up for me, where Nancy and Jonathan come across it, and it's making this really sad. Like, I kind of have a heart for animals. Like, I almost did not watch John Wick. I started the first movie, and like the first 10 minutes, I was like, nope, turning this off. Like, animals are very kind of difficult, and that whole scene just kind of did it for me. I mean, if you want to make fun of me, go for it, but it is what it is. But then, like, when it gets taken away, I was like, oh shit, like this just kind of got real. And then seeing Nancy crawl through the tunnel in the tree, and then we finally get like the first actual look at the Demogorgon, where we've seen like blurry pictures of it from Jonathan and stuff, but like this was a really good shot where it's like eating, and then it turns and like it's like head opens up. Like, it was a really great scene. So overall, like, I wouldn't say this is a bad episode. I mean, it's a lot better than some other stuff, but overall, this was probably the slowest episode so far, at least to me. And a lot of it, like, kind of felt a little bit fillerish, that they just kind of had to insert stuff to get to their 8-episode quota. Where, I mean, if you took all 8 episodes and you kind of took pieces out from here and there and you shortened it, you could probably make this like a 6-episode series and not lose a beat. Whereas this is one of those really heavy episodes where I kind of felt like it was a little bit filled in. So for those who have seen this one, go ahead, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time for Monster.